Latinos and Goths, Latino Goths, standing in flannel shirts with heavy black eyeliner at bus stops amongst skateboarders, punk rockers, intellectuals, your average Joes and bums, in the lazy afternoon sun in Santa Cruz, California, and in no rush at all. Passengers of buses, cabs, and subways, so different out west than back east in New York. Oddly different, and yet the same crowd everywhere. Passing by in a black Dodge Challenger with Lou and the Velvets playing over the speakers, and with windows slightly rolled down to take in that sweet offshore breeze that rolls in from eternity's shores just over the cliffside, which fills you with an unexplainable joy and a lust for life. I could drive like this forever. Cool and slow's how we like it here on the Central Coast. No, we don't quite do it up here like they do it down in LA or in Orange County. We take it slow and easy, relaxed. Time sort of just happens and we don't fight it. I love you, Los Angeles, but I find it hard to trust you. In Orange County, well, you're just something else, aren't you? All of life, shifting with kaleidoscope visions, and with a wildness to it all. How I wish all of the native tribes of the old world were here with me now to eat peyote and ride rides at the boardwalk. It's fine though. Carrie and I eat MDMA and ride the rides and play arcade games, and I have great visions of all the Indians dancing around with us, wrapped in ecstasy, with all of those neon lights flashing and rides turning and whipping about just as the sun swims off into glittering twilight. Stop the ride of life right this instant. I want my money back. This isn't what we paid for. It's not what we expected. But it was cash only and no refunds. Shit. Buyer's remorse. Did you know we all reside under the same mass delusion, namely that which we call death? And wouldn't you know it, the physicists are making the same claims as the poets and rishis, Shivites, Buddhists, and Vedantists too. There are those who prefer to vacation in the Maldives and Croatia. Me, myself, I prefer to stroll down wonderlands, such as the Tenderloin, Skid Row, or your Kensington Avenues of the world, where all walks of life congregate and come together in the shared interest in that of the sensory indulgences. Bury my heart beneath the Burnside Bridge and give my soul rest somewhere in the neon lights of Fremont Street. Down at Natural Bridges, I was sitting in the sand reading when a man from the Orient approached. He asked me what it was that I was reading. I said to him that it was only the story of his life. He proclaimed that I was American Lucifer. Ah, Lucifer, the light bearer, I replied. No, that would be my brother. Me, I'm death. I come bearing a different sort of light, a light more beautiful than the mind can grasp. A light ungraspable, penetrating all of existence. It is a light you cannot know in this state of mind, for it is knowledge itself, though it is a light dearer to you and so close to your own heart that it goes far deeper than even the tissues and flesh which comprise that organ. And so, then I wheeled on up the highway, across Western Drive on up and past Davenport, waves breaking down by the foothills of the cliffside, with aqua-colored waters pushing in on the shoreline, and with rolling whitewash pulling back out into the complete and utter immensity of it all. Death, blue death, lingering just over the cliffside. Oh, death, how I'm in love with your mystery. Powdered pastel skies that hung over fog-swept shores, to the cliffs cascading down to smooth, cool sands. Please, no flash photography, the sign in the museum read. We made our way through the gallery halls, exiting the exhibition. It was a showing of life and of death, of thought and of mind, of this and of that. I really wasn't sure what to make of any of it. Davenport, where we drove in the early morning hours after eating LSD and staying up all night. We crawled down the cliff face, down onto the rock bed that jutted out into the waters beside the cave where rushing waves came swirling and crashing within. John and I walked out to the far edge while Carrie stayed safely behind. Pitch black night draped over the waves, building and galloping towards us, suddenly peering up at a 10 to 15 foot wave towering over us. Immediately, I split for the safety of shore. John, frozen in place, unsure what move to make. The wave broke flat upon him, pulling him out across the rock bed as he grabbed at anything he could. At the last moment, he caught and clung to the rock's edge, holding on for dear life as the wave attempted to suck him out to sea. Running out to grab him, I pulled him up by his soaking wet cold leather jacket, dripping in the summer night air, with water beating down his long orange hair hanging down over his eyes. The whole thing was wild and insane. Carrie thought he was done for. We laughed madly as we drove back towards town. The sun bled, leaking oranges and reds, reds and oranges, and there was no difference between us, our landscape, our minds, or the drugs. It all melded into one giant little cohesive slice of eternity as we swam through it all endlessly. Sometimes when driving down PCH, I think, one fast jerk of the steering wheel over the cliffside, down, down into the rolling waves, down, sinking down until the pressure from the water caves in the windows, smothering lungs as it creeps down your throat. A water burial, like in the olden days. Are we satisfied with the story of our lives? No, we're not. We always want more. There's something happening here, though we're not quite sure what it is. Unzip this moment, pull back the curtain of seemingly empty space, and take a peek in through all of time. There was a head-on collision, cars whizzing past in the background. Pulling over, we ran down the hill to the lakeside where the car of the young man was slowly swallowed up until disappearing. We ran through the knee-deep marshy waters to the second car where a couple sat in shock. The driver, an older gentleman, his skull cracked and his face split in half. He kept instinctually holding up the loose flesh, keeping it from sliding off from the skull. By the time we hoisted him back up the hillside, he had passed. Our eyes were locked, peering into one another's souls until he slipped away through me. The widow said they came from Half Moon Bay. It was her husband's birthday, and they went for burritos in Davenport. The moon is rising and the sun is calling. The carnival music played backwards through our minds as our lives were played back to us from within our own eyes. We're suffering, can't you see? It's our turn now. We're next in line, next in life to die. Hey, stop pushing, man. We'll all get our chance. Step right up now, don't be shy. Buy the ticket, take the ride. You say that I'm repeating something I've already said, so let me say it again. Please shut your mouth when you're speaking to me. Eyes quiet with God, dreams watching dreams. I have the highway all to myself. Lingering off, hidden within the Santa Cruz mountain range, the 84 Mahasiddhas. You can't see them, though they exist. Yogis in caves practicing the great royal art form, appearing and disappearing, coming, going, detached from it all, not bound to a singular body or form, traveling in throughout mind, traveling through understandings of the geometries of platonic solids, the nadis, channels of energy flow, unseen by the eye of flesh, known to only the unseen eye, masters of the emptiness at reality's core, alchemical transformations, the flow of chi, the winds, stilling of breath, and the endless realms that lie in between breaths. The brain, a filter, a transistor, receiving, transmitting, and translating, filtering and directing frequencies, patterns in and out. We can alter the development of the physical brain through refining states of awareness and our objects of focus, transforming the seemingly physical state through immaterial means and vice versa, i.e., perception and reality. Access to the Pure Land realms are not only to be reached through physical rebirths in the next life, but by means of the mental rebirths in this very life, deepening the mind's awareness into a limitless, broadened field. I've been known on occasion to vacation in these spaces, these places. But what do I know? I'm just a foolish poet.